So, have y'all seen what is going on over in Kenya? I'm ecstatic about it because I'm actually seeing mainstream news media pick it up. And yes, there are definitely smaller content creators posting about this, but this needs to go viral. We need to keep having these conversations. We need to do it globally in various countries because women are being harmed and we need to talk about it and we need to do something about it. We need to keep putting pressure on these governments to handle these gender-based offenses that are harming women and girls. Now, this article is from the BBC. Kenya femicide: hundreds protest add violence against women. So let's talk about this article. Demonstrations are taking place across major cities in Kenya to protest against the rising cases of femicide and other violence against women. Hundreds have gathered in Nairobi, Nakuru, Mombasa, Nyeri, and Lodwar, some carrying placards with the names of those who were unalived. A 2022 survey found that at least 1 in 3 Kenyan women has endured physical violence at some point in their life. I am here because I am angry, 33-year-old Winnie Shalagat told the BBC. It is wrong. We are tired and we want something to be done about it. Absolutely. Men and boys must take responsibility for their own actions instead of the burden being on women and girls to protect themselves, said another protester called Michael Onyango. We should educate our sons and tell them they need to stop unaliving women. Saturday's protest followed a series of gruesome unalivings of women, including one victim later named as Rita Waini, whose dismembered remains were found stuffed into a plastic bag at an Airbnb rental apartment. Femicide is defined as intentionally unaliving a woman or girl because they are female. Amnesty International says that more than 500 cases of femicide were recorded in Kenya between the years 2016 and 2023. Many of the victims were unalived by intimate partners or people known to them. Campaigners want the authorities to expedite justice for all recent victims of sexual and gender-based violence. Dozens of local rights groups say the government must declare femicide a national emergency and class femicide as a specific crime distinct from murder. In Nairobi on Saturday, demonstrators chanted Sisi ni watu sia wanyama. Please forgive me. Y'all know that I don't speak this language. In Swahili, meaning we are human beings, not animals. Others carry banners saying only weak men unalive women, and every time you blame a victim, you affirm the murderer. Victim blaming has been rife on social media, with commenters in Kenya's so-called manosphere blaming these women for their own deaths. Many messages on online platforms focus on what the victims were wearing when they were attacked or questions why they did not use their mobile phones to tell family and friends their whereabouts. Sounds exactly like what women go through globally. This is pretty much the same. It's just a different accent or a different language, slightly different tenor. But the victim blaming is there globally. And this is a global situation, a global sisterhood that needs to be protecting. Despite Kenya having robust laws against gender-based violence, most perpetrators go unpunished. When prosecutors are brought, they often drag it on for years in court. Some of the pictures and posts that I was tagged in, this is one. Today we've seen boyfriends marching with their girlfriends, husbands marching with their wives, brothers marching with their sisters, and even strangers being in the midst to offer support. Surely humanity still exists, and I'm so proud of anyone and everyone who came through. We know the women are going to be there. We know the women are going to be there. And that is not to say that there are not many, many victim blamers who are women, because yes, the patriarchy is still enforced by women. But it is good to see men in the midst marching and understanding that this does impact them too. Harming women impacts them as well. More pictures from this creator just of the march. I saw this one on Twitter. Thousands of Kenyans gathered in major cities in Kenya to protest against the rising cases of femicide and other violence against women. This sign says, if boys will be boys, women will always bleed. Yes, we have got to get rid of that boys will be boys and teach new things so that society can heal and be better, because women and girls deserve to be safe and secure. There are a couple of videos that I'm going to link. If you're on my TikTok, I'm just going to embed it into the comments. But this woman right here was speaking on femicide, and what ends up happening when women speak on situations that impact us specifically. When some of these men jump into the conversation, they want to derail and not talk about what women are going through, and they do that by shifting to men. If men want to talk about what is going on with men, that is absolutely fine. But why is it that it always has to happen when women are talking about specific issues that women are facing at the hands of men? So I'm going to attach this, because just listening to this man talk was just like unnerving, because yes, it's for them specifically, but this is what happens when women want to address the situations that are going on with women and girls. People act just like this, dude. All right, jump in the comments. You won't hear my voice again. I'm going to attach videos from two different Kenyan creators.
About the women being killed. It's not a fight. Stop coming to say, you guys don't know how many men are being killed as opposed to the women. It's not a fight, honey. Calm down. Sawa, they're being killed. And that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry that at this particular time, right now, when we are talking about this, it's happening to women, and we can see about the women. Now, when it's time, even if you guys want to say, okay, now, also guys, we need to understand there's a crisis in Kenya, there's also men. Show us. We'll fight for equal, both of all of them. So you see, the thing I'm having a problem with is even the way here Chim is saying, we've come up and we are saying 70 women is as opposed to that men. So I'm like, it's not a fight.
So I will say this. What you said is not entirely factual, because last year there were 2 or 3 very high profile cases of deaths, suspicious deaths involving men. One of the cases involved a rally driver, and it's still under investigation. So I'm not going to say the name because it's still under investigation. There was no outcry. Companies refused to drop this individual.
They did.
No, they did not.
The babe was dropped.
No, she was not dropped. And that was a huge sticking point, because that's a year or slightly more after a guy like Shafi Weru was dropped for giving an opinion. In this case, we are actually in a situation where it's a murder investigation that's ongoing. They refuse to drop someone. Are
you sure?
Yes.
You can check it out.
Another instance involved a lady who was married to a foreign man. And that guy's family came back and said, yo, the victim himself kept telling us, not just us, politicians and police, if anything happens to me, it is my estranged wife. Nothing came of that.
One thing about young people in Kenya, they're gonna show up and take up space boldly.
And the Femicide March just proved exactly that. We demanded justice. We say that we will not be silenced. We booed leaders and held them accountable for their silence and inaction. I hope that young people can continue speaking up against injustice and be the change we need in Kenya.